Hello dear viewer, this is the second part of the video about Grandpa's VCR ARG. In the last video we kind of got an introduction to the Game Master and the team, some of the members of the team that I'll be working with, and we discussed the postcard. This is the rest of the video because it was really long, about us talking about the ARG and what we're expecting and what's coming up, and some more answers from Shawn.
How long do you expect Grandpa's VCR ARG to last? I really have no expectations on how long it's going to last, other than I think we can time it in terms of weeks rather than months or years.
I don't know. I know that it's supposed to last about a month, and I think that for some it will take a lot longer than that. I think for some it may take less time. I know that Shawn, the developer and the creator of the game, is going to stage it so that certain parts can't be started unless other things have been finished, and it will also work to kind of get the rest of the group to catch up with some of those who have kind of taken the lead throughout the different stages as they go. So my guess is it probably will take 3 to 4 weeks for this particular ARG.
So how long do I expect the game to go? Good question. I would say I expect the game to go probably around a month. It's going to be released in 4 phases, and during those 4 phases teams will compete for level prizes. There'll be a level prize at the end of the first phase, which will be $50, and then the stakes get a little higher when the next 2 levels come out, and it will be a $75 prize. And then when the next 2 levels come out, it'll be a $100 prize. And then when the final 2 levels come out, that's when you get to the grand prize. And the grand prize right now is like $500–600, and God only knows how big it can get. I mean, the more people join, the more players we have involved, the more money that will get put into the jackpot, and it's anyone's game at that point. You can make a pretty good pile of cash playing this game.
Okay, before we get more into this current game, I need to tell you about some of the backstory that we have from the previous game we played, the one that we keep referencing, the Ready Player One movie ARG. We discussed that there was that book ARG, and there were people that had played that had gone on to win that DeLorean that we had talked about. And those people that had played the book ARG originally, they had like met each other on like wiki pages. They'd gone into like edit the wiki pages and figured out that there were enough of them there, and they started working together. Now, of those people, one of them is somebody that we all know. Her name is Angie. She's been a moderator in the Facebook group. I used to be a moderator in the Facebook group, and you know, there's a handful of like fans that all kind of know each other. And Angie is one of those players that played the movie ARG, but she would never join us. And we always were a little bit grumpy with her about that. Like, come on, we get along. Like, we're all fans. Like, why don't you help us out? And she's like, nah, you know, like I gotta work with the book people. You know, those are my people. You know, like we went through that whole book ARG together. Like, yeah, that's fine. I get that. So then, when this ARG came up, poor Brandon, he got a hold of all of us. You know, like, yo, like we gotta play this. I'm like, yeah, count me in. He gets a hold of Angie, and Angie's like, yeah, let me look into it. So then after a while, I hit up Angie, and I was like, are you playing with us? And she's like, no, I'm gonna like hook up with the book ARG people again. I'm like, oh, she's working against us again. So as it stands right now, there are 3 teams that we know about. There's our team, which mostly come from the movie ARG. There's the book team, that's Angie's team. I've been referring to them as the Booger Eaters because they don't have a team name as far as I know. By the way, our team name is Be Kind Rewind. So we got Be Kind Rewind, we got the Booger Eaters, and then there's this other team from this other forum, and we actually ran into them later after we had started our Discord. They had started their own Discord, but they're the Curios and Conundrums team, and we're working with them. They're really nice. They work together well. We work together well, and I think they're going to be working with us. I mean, they still have their own Discord, but we're in their Discord and they're in our Discord, so we'll see what happens, but I'm pretty sure that they're cool. But just so you know, though, there is a little bit of hostility. Like, we have to beat Angie's teams, the Booger Eaters, because she won't work with us. Oh, so that's my. She's a wonderful person, but I want to beat her at this game. She's terribly nice and she's awesome, but dang it, why won't she work with us? Angie, I'm sending you this video. You should be on our team. Like, let the rest of your team see this video. We're cool people. Why aren't you with us? You book people with us movie people. We can work together. We're nice people.
Angie is someone who was an original Gunter who played the original Ready Player One book ARG game. And she has a competing team against the people in our Discord. And we are referring to them as the Booker Eaters, I see. So how do I feel about the Booker Eater team? I feel fine about them. I'm sure there are a lot of secret Booker Eater teams other than Angie's that we don't even know about, because there are a lot of people that are going to play this game. And competition, I think, brings out some of the best and some of the worst in people, but it makes things interesting, certainly, so I'll enjoy seeing how that plays out. What would you tell players looking to solo? I would not tell them anything because obviously they don't want any information from me. What would you tell Angie? Also nothing. Everything we find out is a secret from her and will be kept well guarded because we do not want to give her team any advantage in the hunt. How do I feel about hint credits? There has been some brouhaha over the whole idea of the hint credits because a lot of people feel that that makes this game play to win. I don't see it that way at all. The game creator has explained and made clear that the final level there will be no hints, no early access available. And I think later he further explained that, you know, hints might give you a little bit of a leg up to fast track through some of it, but they are by no means a way to buy your way to the finish.
They can be necessary at times. In fact, I was just remembering as I was thinking about the LucasArts games and other makers of video games back in those late 80s and early 90s. Some of the ways that I got through them was calling the 1-800 hint line or the 1-900 hint line, which cost, $2 a minute, and you had to dial up and get to the right section of the phone tree so that you could get the right hint credit and not stay on the phone too long. Did I spend money as a kid? Yeah, I did. Not a lot, because I didn't have a lot of money, but I did.
A lot of people have also expressed concern about having to buy in order to get the jackpot because they feel that all ARGs should be free, but I don't feel that way at all. I think creators should be paid for their work. If you want to play their game, then chip in a little bit to play it. I mean, especially in this game, it's only a couple of bucks to buy in. Support your creators. I mean, they gotta put food on the table too, and you're enjoying their work and their blood, sweat, and tears that they went into it. So I have no problem with the hit credits thing.
Well, here's the thing. Because my game is free to play for anyone, all right? I'm making it totally 100% free unless there's something that comes up that's out of my control. I don't want anyone to have to pay to play. If it's the kind of thing that you enjoy, go for it. Play the game, enjoy the puzzles, enjoy all the things that go with this kind of game. The paying part is simply for joining the jackpot. I kind of feel that, if you want to join the jackpot, it's worth putting in the money. I mean, if you go to play cards, you ante up. And that's basically what my game's all about. Yes, you can pay for hints in the game as well, but I think you'll find that since the whole hint part and the beginning part that is in the app that's coming out for mobile phones is only a small portion of the game. Like, granted, yes, you could fly through that part. The reality is, it'll help you get through that part, but there are so many parts that the hints are really only a small portion of the game. And honestly, all the people I've corresponded with leading up to this game, I kind of have a feeling that a lot of you are not going to need the hints. You guys are really brilliant. The way you've hacked my website time and time again, I really have no doubt that you probably won't need the hints. And I will tell you, there are a couple levels that have no hints. So to win the game, you can't depend on buying your way through it. There are a couple levels that have no hints available. And so for that reason, I think the hints are a way to kind of move people through the game so that they don't get hung up, in the very beginning stages. But at the end of the day, it really is going to come down to how smart you are, how resourceful you are, how good the hive mind is of the team you're working with. Those are the kind of things that are going to make you be able to win the game. Whether you paid $1 or $2 for a hint, it is, at the end of the day, probably not going to help you a whole bunch. It'll help you, don't get me wrong. There's a reason that I'm making people pay for them, but in the grand scope of things, it's more of a marathon than a sprint, because believe me, it's folds upon folds upon folds of puzzles. So I think you'll find that you can't buy your way through this game in any way, shape, or form. I did not get any feedback from other ARG creators, mostly because I didn't know any of them. I'm relatively new to the field, so for that reason, I have not contacted them before doing this. I'm kind of just rolling the dice and hoping it'll be awesome. There's a great story about the Chicago's World Fair where throughout the whole fair, people saw this huge monstrous thing being erected. They put up a big, huge structure, and then they started loading railroad cars on it, one after another after another. And these railroad cars were attached to the superstructure, and it was the most crazy invention ever imagined at the time. And it turned out to be a Ferris wheel. And the reason I tell you this is that they did no testing. They did no safety checks or anything. They just put it together, rolled the dice, and hoped for the best, and that railroad cars of people didn't splash the ground in, explosions of blood and gore. And it worked, and everyone loved it. And I'm kind of taking that same method with my game, is I'm really hoping that no one crashes to the ground and explodes in a big puddle of gore.
And doing brute force through a cipher is cheating. I don't think so. I know that the web holds all kinds of tools that can be used to solve puzzles like ciphers. And I don't think that that's cheating necessarily, no. I think it takes some of the fun out of it for the people that are on the hunt. And I know that there's something about it that seems a little bit less as far as from a purist standpoint, but I don't think it's cheating.
It is definitely not in the spirit of the game to brute force your way through it. I really think that goes against the spirit of the game. Is it cheating per se? I don't know. You, whatever tools, there's no sort of rules in an ARG, unless there are, but I'm not sure that there are with this one. It really doesn't say, oh, you can't brute force, but it's definitely not in the spirit of the game.
Will there be a scoring system for if you're better or faster? Simple answer is no. I'm sorry. I did have one, made, and I did play around with the idea, and I really was struggling with the idea of how to make it fair for a scoring system with all the other things that I had added in. So, the fact that you can buy hints and you can get codes for early access as part of the Indiegogo campaign, stuff like that. If I build a scoring system for fastest, then all of a sudden, these people that paid in have this automatic advantage over everyone else. And I didn't want that to really taint the game. I'm really hoping that people will see that it's an advantage, but one that is tempered by the difficulty of the puzzles and all the, permutations that go on within. So I didn't put a scoring faction in there. However, I am linking it up to a Twitter account, and as people make progress in the game, you will be able to see in real time, oh, they've gotten to this place, or oh, they've reached that goal, or oh, they've finished this level. So while there isn't a number assigned to how fast you are, you will get recognition and it will be showing up on a Twitter stream. So you can keep your eyes on that to kind of see where the competition lies. And at the end of the day, you know, it's a race. You know, you have to be both smart and fast and win the grand prize. So I didn't want to complicate it too much. I really wanted people to be able to focus on the certain levels along the way, and then when it came down to it, to just haul ass and really, you know, do their best, and whoever wins, you know, congratulations. I'm very happy you have. So anyway, once again, I'm Shawn Harris. I'm the creator of Grandpa's VCR, and I hope that this little interview has opened up some questions, answered some questions, maybe opened up some other questions for you. And you can feel free to always post them to me in the forum. The game will have a forum on the website, and I will do my best to answer questions in a timely fashion. As I've mentioned, my time is a little stretched thin by all the craziness I have going on. But I really try to reach out to the people like yourself that's playing the game, because you're the one who really counts here. Like, I've done my part. So I really want to make sure that you have the most fun you can through my crazy 13-year-old ride through the internet. All right? All right, well, have a good time, and game on!
Are you excited about new players joining our Discord? Yes, this is the most exciting thing for me. I'm not a solo player. I'm in it for the community. I don't actually have no intention at all of winning. For me, it's about having fun with other people who enjoy the same things as I do. So I'm super excited to see other people join in and play with our team.
A lot of times you can find us through the subreddit about Grandpa's VCR as well. So we'd love to have you. We have a general page for all of the people who are interested to come and join us. We have a little bit of a requirement as far as being able to be involved in some of the hint finding and discussion as far as what hints we found, as far as showing that you're interested in helping with us solve the game rather than just kind of taking the hints and then doing it yourself. I think that, again, that's seems like a pretty fair process, that we wouldn't necessarily want to share our hints with you knowing that you're going to go away and then use those on your own. So, but we welcome everybody. We'd love to have you come and join us, young or old, whether this is your very first one or you've done them for years and years. Please come and join us. We'd love to have you.
Where can we be found on the internet? We can be found very easily by going to facebook.com/grandpasvcr. We've got a Facebook page. Or the subreddit Grandpa's VCR. There's a link to the Discord right in there.
Oh, and side note, the other team, Angie's team that I mentioned before, I have been referring to them as the Booger Eaters. She did get a hold of me as I was making this video. Her team's name is the Kodan Armada. So it is Be Kind Rewind versus the Kodan Armada, and I'm pretty sure that the third team from Curios and Conundrums is going to be with us. So Angie's team, the Kodan Armada, we're going to beat them, even if they have a cooler name than Booger Eaters. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm going to go back to regular video game stuff. I'm going to keep documenting this though. If you like this, let me know, because I will be documenting it, and I'm not going to show any clues. I'm not going to be able to make a video during the game because I don't want to give anyone the answers. So I'm going to have to wait till this whole thing is done to show it off, because I don't want somebody to just watch my video and get a bunch of points and end up beating me and taking that prize money. It's mine. It's for me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm running out of things to say. Have a wonderful day, dear viewer. Thanks for sticking around. I know my videos have been a little bit outside of the norm lately, and they will go back to more retro stuff, I promise. But this came up.